Hi, it's Andy, and it's time to do 2025's 12 and 12. So, if you don't know what a 12 and 12 is, basically it is the nightmare jar as it became this year, 2024. So in this jar, there's currently nothing. There's nothing. It is empty. It is empty, and we need to fill this jar. So what I do for my 12 and 12 is I ask my friends in the group chats to look at my TBR and pick a book each for 12 of them, obviously, and I pick one per month. That gives me a book to read. One a month. You get it makes sense. But they also give me a prompt to pick a book from my TBR as well, or pick a book in general. It can be a reread if I want. So it just gives me a little bit more interest and sort of dynamic to my reading for the year. Basically, this is just a video to go over my 12 and 12 and show you what everybody has picked for me for next year. I will tag everybody below. If they've got a YouTube channel, I will tag their YouTube. If they don't, I will tag their Instagram or Twitter. I will tag everybody down below. Now, this is in no particular order. This is literally just I started typing them in as they came back because I had the spreadsheet open. So yeah, this is basically just in order of how fast people go back to me. So we will kick it off with Tori, and the book that Tori picked for me was The Green Lady by Sue Lawrence. This is also a book that Tori bought for me. So, pada. So she also gave me a prompt of read a series or companion book. Of course, because Tori also runs the series TBR-a-thon. So I'm just going to fold that and ta-da, that is that folded, and in it goes. Number one. Next up is Pia, and honestly, Pia was a little cruel on this one. She picked Small Island by Andrea Levy. This is a book that is one I've been saying I need to get to for so long, and I've just not picked up. And so, realistically, Pia is doing me a favour. But also, it's over 500 pages long. It's 530 pages. So, I'm not normally bothered by thick books. Like Pucking Around by Emily Rath, I'm looking at you, it's 707 pages long. I read that in 2 sittings. The longest book in the Outlander series is over 1400 pages. I've read that easily. Like, I'm not usually intimidated by long books, but this one, there's something about this book that just absolutely intimidates the hell out of me. But this will make me sit down and read it. Get the prompt. So the prompt that Pia gave me is to read a book with a name in the title, which will be interesting when it comes around to it. Let's get this folded and in to the jar. Next up is Lisa, and Lisa's choice for me was Lover or Loser, which is kind of terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of terrible because Lisa picked the first one in this series, it's a trilogy, for me last year. So you can see that I'm doing really well at picking up the books I have to read. And the prompt that Lisa had for me is to read a new to you author, which is fantastic because I am really finding that I'm picking up books from authors I know and not branching out as much as I would like to. So this will force me to do that a bit more. And into the jar it goes. Next is Emma, and Emma chose My Plain Jane for me to read. And this is by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton and Jodie Meadows. The funny thing about this is the Elle Crate edition of... I think it's Elle Crate edition. It is a special edition, technically, of this book with deckled edges that I, in fact, bought from Emma when I first met her. So this is a nice full circle moment that she's chosen this for me. And I don't know if I can read this without reading the other one, so that'll be someone will need to tell me. And the prompt that Emma has for me is to read a book that inspired a TV show. And honestly, looking at the things right now, I don't have anything on my TBR that's like that just now, so we'll have to see how that goes for my purchasing in the next year. And into the... There it goes. I'm going to put it here. So I can we'll move Nemesis. I'll put it here so you can see me put it in without me having to faff about. Next up is Jem, and she chose Don't You Forget About Me by Valerie McFarlane. This is a newer book to me, which is good because I have, do you know what, I'm not doing too bad. I only have 3 books that are pre-2023, and 2 of them, The Green Lady and Small Island, are on this 12 and 12, and there's only one more, which I will find a way to wedge into reading next year. Keep me accountable. But this one is a newer purchase, so this hasn't been sitting on my TBR for that long, which is great. So yeah, this is a Valerie McFarlane book. I've read one book by Valerie McFarlane which was great, but also wrecked me, so that'll be fun. And the prompt that we have from Jem is to read a short book. I think that's to make up for her pick for 2024 being The Fragile Threads of Power, which is currently the longest book on my TBR. It wouldn't be had I not read like Pucking Around. Again, I'm looking at 707 pages for a romance book, and it was worth every single page. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, this is not about Pucking Around. Yeah, so she picked Fragile Threads of Power, and that was the biggest thing on my TBR. So I think the small book is to make up for that. Next is Becca, and for her book, she picked Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is actually a book that Becca got me for my birthday, so it's nice that I'll be able to read that for my 12 and 12. I am looking forward to it. This is the first in a trilogy, and 2 of the books, I believe, are sapphic. This one certainly is, and yeah, I'm really excited to read these, really excited to get to them. I did plan on getting to them this year, but obviously that didn't happen, so now I will be forced to at least start the series. And Becca's prompt for me is to read a romance, because of course it's Becca we're talking about. Romance is apparently her thing. After she read The Love Hypothesis, she just hit a romance era like no other, so yeah. And then to the pot of gold, I almost put it in the cup there. Next up is Meg, and Meg chose The End Crowns All by B. Fitzgerald for me. Now this is a book, again, that I planned to read already, but I just haven't managed to get to, and I'm really, really excited about this, and I just have the feeling that this is going to be the December book. Like, I was so excited for Fragile Threads, and it ended up being the December book. So this one, I can see it being the December book because I'm equally as excited and have equally been putting it off. But this is I want to say a sapphic Troy retelling. I don't know why I keep saying that. It is a Troy retelling, like the fall of Troy, but I keep telling myself and keep telling everybody that I think it's sapphic, and I genuinely don't know where I got that from. I think from one of B. Fitzgerald's posts, but I don't know, like in my head it's sapphic between Cassandra and Helen. I don't know, we will find out, hopefully before December. And the prompt that Meg has chosen is to read a friend's favourite, which is going to work out really well if it doesn't come up in December. Like if this comes up sometime before we finish the Chronicles of Ixia read along, it will work perfectly for one of those books, because Chronicles of Ixia is Tori's favourite. And into the pot we go. Next up is Siobhan, and Siobhan picked Filthy Rich and Vampire by Geneva Lee for me. I don't know if they've read this or not. It is one, again, that I picked up, really excited about it. This is Vampire Bridgerton. Vampire Bridgerton. In which the male main character is Anthony. Basically. If you have seen Bridgerton, I've not read the books, if you've seen Bridgerton, that's what the synopsis is basically. Is like Anthony's story, kind of. So it's like the head of this family, this vampire family, and he needs to find a bride, and so like he just sort of picks one. It's Vampire Bridgerton, and I'm really excited about this, but again, because I'm so excited about it, I've been intimidated by it. It's ridiculous the way my brain works, but thank you to Siobhan for picking that, and making me read this at some point. Now, their prompt for me is read a book with a supernatural element, which will work well in my favour, because I do love me some paranormal romance, and I do love me some paranormal based stuffs. So yeah, I am excited for that, and in the pot it goes. Next up is Bobby, and she chose The Boyfriend Subscription by Stephen Salvatore. I always say Stephen Salvatore, I don't know why, but in my brain it just like, it's like you can be Stephen Salvatore or you can be Stephen Salvatore. That's how it works, apparently. in my head. Anyway, yeah, this is another one that I bought and I was like, oh, I'll read that straight away, and here we are. Here we are. So yeah, thank you so much to Bobby for choosing this. I need to eat something. And Bobby's prompt for me is a random emoji generator. So to get a random emoji generator, generate an emoji, and then whatever it pops out at me, pick a book based on the vibes of that emoji. Next up is Vicky, and Vicky chose Ashes and Stones by Alison Shaw. Now Vicky chose that because they really liked it and she thinks I will really like it. So I'm excited. I, again, bought this ages ago and I got this edition because it was signed in... Was it signed? It's not even signed. I swear this is meant to be signed. I got this edition in... What's the place? Toppings. And I swear it's meant to be signed. Am I losing it completely? I swear I got this because it was signed. Anyway, this is a non-fiction about witches in Scotland, I think. It's been so long since I bought this, guys. It's been far too long. And the prompt that Vicky picked for me is to read a book that I, Andy, think that Vicky would like. So that'll be a fun one when it comes to it, because Vicky and I, we have a really weird Venn diagram of book tastes. Like they're most of the things that Vicky reads, I would not touch, and most of the things that I read, Vicky's more open to because Vicky has more broad taste than I do. But the crossover can be difficult. But yeah, into the pot it goes anyway. Next up is Smash, and Smash picked for me The Heart of the Sun Warrior, and I am really excited with this. This is by Sue Lynn Tan. I read The Daughter of the Moon Goddess this year. I really enjoyed it, but it didn't... Like, it wasn't a new favourite. I thought it was fine, but it was like... I don't know, there was something about it that I really liked, while at the same time it was also really mediocre. And that makes absolutely no sense. But I debated whether or not to read this, and I'm really grateful that she picked this so that I can be made to read it and answer once and for all if I like this duology and if I will get the short stories or not. And the prompt that I just accidentally threw across the room is to read a book inspired by my, Andy's, favourite colour, and then base it on the vibes, the cover, the title, etc. So as you can probably see, like, I really like pink, and so I would maybe pick a book that has a vibrant pink cover, pick one that has pink in the title, something along those lines, you know. In the pot we go. Oh, don't knock over the pot. I'm just absolutely knocking things over, sorry. And lastly is Kay, my lovely wife, and she picked for me Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk. And this, again, one that I picked up ages ago and have put on other TBRs and really wanted to read and then just did not pick up. I've never read anything from Lindsay Kelk before, so this will be interesting. I do have another book by Lindsay Kelk as well. Kay saw that and decided to pick the 2023 purchase over the 2024 purchase because she's kind like that, and she knows I'm wanting to get rid of like my backlist, so this will be exciting for me to get to. And the prompt that I have from Kay is to read a POC author. So basically the book has to be written by a person of colour, which is, you know, obvious because POC author. I love me a good over-explaining. I really, really do, and I'm very tired. This is the second video film today, but we're done. That's number 12 in the pot. So, let's get them mixy. And that's the lid going on for 2025's pot of doom, shall we call it. Now, there's nothing on here I don't think that should be an issue. I reserve the right to a TNF, and yeah, I'm really excited to get to all of these. There's not one in here that I'm looking at and I'm like, well, maybe there's one or two that I'm looking at and I'm like, I'm really not sure. But there are also ones that I would never unhaul with it reading, but also ones that I would never gravitate towards reading. So really, people are doing me a favour by picking these books. But yeah, we will see the first one of these in January's TBR, so stick around for that if you're interested to see whose pick gets picked first. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to let me know you were here, you can either let me know what your favourite is in that bunch if you've read any of these books, or if you just want to leave me an emoji, leave me an emoji with your favourite colour, because we talked about my favourite colour, so you know, what's your favourite colour? And again, thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited for next year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.